with special coverage on BBC World News.
They say traitor. We say divisive, unpopular, controversial, defiant. They report what she did. We're on to why she did it. They get caught up in the story. We see the big picture. When they rush to conclusions, we rush to the scene. It's black and white, they say. It's never black and white. BBC News. Find out what's actually happening.
You're watching GMT on BBC World News. Our top stories. President Trump is accused of racism after telling a group of ethnic minority politicians to go back to where they came from. He told the 4 women, 3 of whom were born in America, they should fix the catastrophic governments in their countries of origin instead of criticising the US. We'll bring you rare access from inside Iran as last-ditch talks try to stop the country's nuclear deal from collapsing.
Iran is still a good year away from developing a nuclear weapon. We think there is still some closing but small window to keep the deal alive.
England!
And surely the most exciting World Cup cricket match of all time, England beating New Zealand in a thrilling final. Look at this picture. We're going to be talking to the diver who got up close and personal with this giant jellyfish. Also on the programme, Aaron is looking at China's economy today.
Yeah, Lucy, we know it's the world's second biggest, and we also know it's having a bit of a trade tussle with the biggest. And I tell you what, that US trade war is beginning to bite. China's economy grew at its slowest rate in nearly 30 years. So stay with us, because we're going to find out, what does Beijing do? Will it throw more cash into the economy? And will the low numbers force the Chinese to finally strike a deal with Washington?
Hello, welcome to GMT. I'm Lucy Hockings. President Trump has triggered a furious reaction from the Democratic Party after he suggested that a group of ethnic minority congresswomen go back and help the places from which they came. It's thought he was referring to 4 congresswomen. 3 were born in the US, 1 moved to the US as a child. Let's show you what he said, describing countries with catastrophic governments, accusing the representatives of telling the American people their government and how it should be run, before concluding, why don't they go back and help fix the totally broken and crime-infested places from which they come? Well, I'm joined here in the studio by Greg Swenson from Republicans Abroad. And let's take you to the US and talk to Daniel Lippman from Politico. Daniel, can we start with you, just with how these tweets have been received and whether they are broadly being seen as racist?
They're not being received well at all. Many Republicans are loath to defend this because it smacks of apparent racism. And for example, the New York Times, they reached out to 6 campaign and White House spokesmen of Trump yesterday to try to get a response, and no one wanted to touch it. And even Trump's border protection commissioner on the Sunday shows yesterday, he said he didn't want any part of it as well. He said you have to ask the president for his reaction to the tweets, why he did that. And so this